Meow, 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 bark, 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 meow, 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 bark, meow, bark, meow, 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 bark, meow, bark, 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 bark. Yeah, it's a popcorn poppin' night, even though it's Tuesday, right? What happened yesterday? I got really fucking busy with the fireworks. They went bloom in the sky, all different colors, getting really high. Teenagers don't care who they're in front of, they can fly away, cause I hate youths. They're very annoying. I can't hear the beat, so I'm probably destroying any musical notes that you think is cool, but it's alright. I don't like wool. I think it's rough. I think it's tough. Then again, I might not be thinking enough. The right thing, probably not. Look at me, I'm about my clout. Yes, this is Intro to Space. We getting high. Tie my shoelace. Wow, man, I'm so off beat. I'm just hearing the beat right now. Maybe I bought the cloud. Damn it, no, man, this is awful. This is terrible. Oh, God. Oh, cut the music. DJ, cut that shit. I can't believe you, DJ. Why would you let me go on for so long? Oh, I don't know, man. I just thought. You just thought what, DJ? What did you just think? Oh, I can play something else. What can you play? Oh, man, you know, I could play Not Like Us. You ever heard that one? I've heard it too much. It's a great song. It's a great song. Yeah, it's a great song. I know that. What's the problem? You know what the problem is. It's played so much. You like Drake, don't you? I don't like Drake. Okay? I mean, he's all right. But if you gotta take a side, you gonna take Kendrick's? Yes, I'm gonna take Kendrick. This conversation has nothing to do with movies. That's why I'm trying to tell you to shut up. Fine. Crazy person, you. Why don't we get the show started? Yeah, I'm trying for you to do that. Stop it. You fucked up the voice. It was very obvious that you weren't you. Okay. Enough of that. Now I'm really just trying to play the intro and I can't find it. It's here somewhere. I promise the show will go swimmingly if I can find it. There we go. Oh, hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi. And. Welcome to the man. It's not Stan. It is the Popcorn Poppin. Let's all join the not Ku Klux Klan. Where did that come from? It was probably your white half. What's up with me rapping so much? Welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' live on a Tuesday. Sorry about yesterday, but I would blame the fireworks, but honestly, I just also wasn't ready. I mean, if anything, I think I could have done it. I don't know. In any case, there wasn't a show yesterday, but we're usually on Monday nights at 7:30. But tonight, it's Tuesday, and you are back to your weekly movie, TV, and streaming guide. There's too much content in the world, and you can't be wasting your time trying to figure out what to watch. So let me waste my time for you by watching it all and advising you on what's popping and what ain't. Tonight, we will be discussing only like 2 movies and no new TV show, but we do have a pretty long topic that I got to jump into. First, our spotlight film of the week is probably less popular than the secondary film, but the first one is The BikeRiders, which is out in theaters right now. Stars Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy. After a chance encounter, headstrong Kathy is drawn to Benny, member of Midwestern motorcycle club The Vandals. As the club transforms into a dangerous underworld of violence, Benny must choose between Kathy and his loyalty to the club. Does he have to? Does he have to? Only time will tell. So, popping or not, it was exactly how I thought it was going to be. I think that we discussed it on the show before that I first saw the trailer and I thought it looked really tame and a little boring. And I've never really been into motorcycle films or TV shows except for Sons of Anarchy. And that's all I can think of. I didn't even watch Mayans MC, and I haven't seen Easy Rider yet. It's on the list, but it's really low. I'm just not into motorcycles as much as the next fella. Having said that, I found out who the writer-director was, and that is Jeff Nichols, who did Midnight Special, which we had discussed before. Fairly good film. You should watch it. Take Shelter is his best film, but he also did Loving and Shotgun Stories, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing another one. In any case, he likes Michael Shannon a lot, and Michael Shannon's in this film too. Along with Michael Shannon is Elvis Presley himself, Austin Butler, doing his best not to do a Elvis Presley impersonation again. And we got Jodie Comer, who's doing this weird Fargo voice thing. Basically, the film was a mixture between Goodfellas, Mean Streets, and Fargo, I would say, except way more boring than all three of those films. Not to say that any of those films, why am I having such a hard time? Not to say that any of those films are boring, but this movie makes it seem like those films are boring. Mean Streets I had never finished, and that's wild, right? Martin Scorsese is my favorite director. However, I thought the movie was like, I don't know, these seemed like wannabe gangsters. I haven't tried watching it again in like 10 years, so ease up on the brakes, or hit the brakes, I mean, before you start trying to get at me, bro. Just ease up. BikeRiders, I'm going to say not popping. Tom Hardy does his weird accent again. He's very good in the film. Austin Butler's kind of hardly in it. He has some lines, but it's mostly just him looking around and trying to be a badass. Jodie Comer does a fairly good Frances McDormand impersonation. And the action, there is none. And I'm not saying that I thought this movie was going to be an action movie, but I thought it was going to be a little more badass. But it is about how a motorcycle club, at least like this one, is more about loyalty to fellow outcasts as opposed to chaos and violence, which is what the club eventually gets to. And even when it does, it's not that thrilling. There's one scene that's kind of scary. And before the like big climax, I would say there's one scene between Tom Hardy and Jodie Comer that's the best scene of the movie. It was the only scene of the film where I was like, okay, I'm glad that I saw this, because that one scene was constructed so well in terms of Tom Hardy's entire goal of running this motorcycle gang and trying to keep it as the best thing he's ever done. The only place he's been truly happy, the only place he's been like confident at, and that he's like felt good, I guess. They don't talk about much of his life before the club, but it's very apparent that he found happiness in the club. And he finds happiness when he looks through the eyes of Austin Butler's character, because he wants to be Austin Butler. He wants to have no care, to do whatever he wants. But when this group gets more and more fucked up, what's he going to do? Act the fool? Well, he might have to stick with the club. And could that have dire consequences? Who knows? There's no vengeance in this, which is like a missed opportunity. It's not the type of film that you think it's going to be, unless you saw the trailer. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, it looks like it should be all these other things, and it's not. It's a lot more personal and emotional than it about very, very minimal things, by the way, compared to other films. It's got an excellent cast. It's just, I don't know. Oh, what's his name? Daryl Dixon. Norman Reedus is in this. I forgot that he was going to be in it. Boyd Holbrook, I think his name is. He's in this. There's quite a few people in it. Just wasn't that great. So if you're looking to see a motorcycle film, I recommend to just watch SOA again. Unless you know of any other motorcycle films or television shows that you think are pretty good enough to recommend to other people, let me know, and I'll recommend them to people. Or comment, even though no one's here right now, except for you watching the recording. Any hoozles. What was the other thing that came out that was new this week? Nothing really in theaters. We'll go over other things that came out in theaters that were okay. But on Netflix, Trigger Warning, starring Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba is a special forces commando who returns to her hometown after her father's sudden death, only to run afoul of a violent gang when she starts asking too many fucking questions. Like some stupid broad. What are you doing, Jessica Alba? You're fucking with Anthony Michael Hall? Yeah, that's right. Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Heasy from Breakfast Club. He's in this movie. You remember the nerd? Well, the nerd is a new gangster in charge of this gang. And who's he playing? He's playing someone in the higher ups, okay? Is he playing a badass? Maybe not, maybe so. But you know who is playing a badass? That's Jessica fucking Alba's, okay? Jessica fucking Alba's kicking more fucking ass than you ever fucking knew in your fucking life. Hopefully I don't get fucking flagged. Poppin'. Super fun. You don't have to think too much. There's so much action in it that some of it's comical sometimes because you don't think. There's this one part where she's straddling this guy in a non-sexual way in a car and just beating his ass while another guy's next to him like, stop hitting him. She's like, what? Like, at the question, I barely paid attention to the plot of this movie, and you don't need to. It's one of those movies that's very easy. It's a very, very easy film. It looks like Jessica Alba put in the work, and it makes me wish, and it makes me, I think we should start a movement, ladies and gentlemen. There was a little show called LA's Finest on, what was it on? I don't know, Fox probably, but it starred Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union as LA's Finest. But Gabrielle Union was playing a character from Bad Boys 2. So they're both like cops, I'm assuming. I didn't look it up. But I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, that's dope. If it makes a second season, I'll watch it. And I don't think it ever did. Because it looked like a procedural show. And as you know, I don't really like watching procedurals. Also, I think something's wrong with my stream. So if there is, like, if you're asking me anything, I can't see it. And I feel like I'm being cocky saying that because it's just very strange that we've been doing pretty good the past few weeks. I haven't had any like silences, but it is a new day. So maybe no one is watching, whatever. If you're watching and you're commenting, I apologize if I'm not answering. Anywho, Trigger Warning, Poppin'. If you love Jessica Alba, if you miss Jessica Alba, watch this. If you want to watch a fun kick-ass movie, watch it. And if you like girls kicking ass in action films, usually with them as leads, or if you want to talk about some characters that were a little bit better than the main lead males in some action films, let's talk about some. Oh no. What the hell? Okay. The Tomb Raiders, for instance. So we're not going to go over my favorite ones. We're just going to go over like a list of some that I know of. It's a pretty long list. So get your pen ready if you want to watch some female kick-assery. Tomb Raider, MGM and Paramount Pluses. I like Tomb Raider 1 and 2 with Angelina Jolie, and Alicia Vikander is good at kicking ass, but also her film was really close to the new games. It's just not one of my favorite Tomb Raiders. I prefer Jolie's first one. I didn't want to talk too much horror films because there is the final girl that always kicks ass. However, Sigourney Weaver's too much of a badass, and not to mention in Aliens specifically, which you can watch on Max. The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. To be honest, and I don't have to be this honest, I thought this movie was going to be better than I thought it was going to be. I watched it like 10 years ago, and I was like, I can't believe I've never watched this. I've always seen the cover and always thought it sounded interesting. And I watched it, I was like, this is all right. I don't know. I thought that there was going to be more Sammy. I think that's why. In any case, I do remember her kicking a lot of ass. So shout out to Gina Davis. That's not Debs, but remember Debs? I remember Debs. Debs is a movie. Sorry, had a text. Just make sure I'm alive. Debs. Megan Good. And I don't remember her name, but you're going to see her again. I should have mentioned Waist Deep because Megan Good was Megan Fine in it, but I think she was doing some badass shit in it as well. Miss Congeniality. I'm a big Sandra Bullock fan, all right? I feel weird being a big fan of Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts, but I'm a big fan of Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts. And Sandra Bullock whoops ass in Miss Congeniality, and it's a super fun film. It really is. It's very funny. I haven't watched it in years, but every time it used to come out on TV, I'd find myself like not changing the channel and being like, this movie is much better than I remember. It's got the Shatman in it. Remember Shatman? I remember William Shatner. Widows by Steve McQueen. Not as much action, but still about some empowering women that's trying to clean up their husband's messes and stay alive. I think this was the first time I saw Cynthia Aviro, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong, my bad. She's not in this movie that much, but she is pretty dope in it. Viola Davis, super awesome. Michelle Rodriguez, always a badass. And Elizabeth Debicki. Just a fucking stacked cast. Liam Neeson's, Colin Farrell's, Daniel Kaluuya's. Really good film. Fox and Brown. I haven't watched this since I was a kid, but you can't go wrong with Pamela Grier. I should have put Jackie Brown on here too, but she didn't really kick that much ass in it. But you can check out Foxy Brown in almost every free site, like Tubi, Pluto, and Plex. Enough with J-Lo. You remember that film. Badass. You can watch it on Netflix right now. The old Mulan and the new Mulan. I liked both of them. People complain in general about Disney adaptations, but I thought this Mulan was actually very good. So suck it, Trebek. Oh, this is all mixed up. Okay. Everly. If you haven't heard of this and you're a big Salma Hayek fan, like I'm a big Salma Hayek fan. Salma Hayek is my Hollywood wife. If I've ever said that about anyone else, I was lying. Kinda. I'm in love with a lot of women, but definitely Salma Hayek is like up there. She's so awesome and so beautiful, so sexy. Great accent too. And badassery in this as well. She's a badass in Desperado. It's just she's not on screen enough. She had one badass scene in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, but not badass enough. From Dusk Till Dawn, sure, she had a great stripping / snake scene, but she didn't get to be as much of a vampire as everyone wanted her to be. I wanted to see more like vampire badassery, although her vampire looked really, really scary. Anyways, Everly is actually a dope film. I highly recommend it. If you like movies like Trigger Warning, this is pretty close. You don't have to pay that much attention. And I love one-day movies, and this is a very good one-day movie. There are flashback sequences. I haven't seen this movie in a while, though. There are flashback sequences, but the main frame is her trying to survive in an apartment on her own against thugs. So, with Angelina Jolie, I don't remember this movie that well, but Angelina Jolie's on this list a few times because she's a pretty good badass, and this is one of them. I remember liking this, but it's very forgettable. You can check it out on Pluto. Wonder Woman. Didn't care for 2. Didn't hate 2 as much as everyone else did, but I didn't love it. 1, I don't know if I want to use the word love with 1, but I truly, truly enjoyed it. There's just other movies on this list, and when I compare them to them, then I'm like, maybe I don't love it that much. But I did thoroughly like it. The Hunger Games is what the fuck? What's happening? Hey, it's a lot of work, guys. Fucking Birds of Prey. I liked Birds of Prey. It was very enjoyable. In any case, there is badass Sari in it, especially when the Birds of Prey are actually in the Birds of Prey instead of just Harley Quinn for 80% of the movie and then 20% are the Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey are dope. Birds of Prey. The Hunger Games you can watch on AMC Pluses. Fucking Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, dope. I hated the last 2 Hunger Gameses. Catching Fire is my favorite. The second one. The second one. But Mockingjays 1 and 2. Those were bad, man. I don't know one person that liked them. If you liked them, comment below and I'll tell myself to go fuck myself. Next. This one I might lose you a little bit, but bear with me. It is a foreign film, but it was a badass action film that I did not know was a prequel. So Furies is a prequel and it was a prequel to this movie called The Furies. So Furies about basically a group of girls that are kicking ass. That's all. That's most of the plot of all these movies. And also I don't have them all written down because I didn't know I'd talk about each one in this much depth, but I will speed it up. Furies is really dope on Netflix. It's just kind of hard to watch because like the dudes are like overly like rapey, and it's rape's not fun. And the girls are badass. It's just they're constantly being like beaten and like assaulted and shit. So that's not fun. And even though this movie was highly rated, the first one called The Fury, the Fury, I think, or Fury. It's probably just furry. The present one. Jesus, Tony. I don't know if this one's on Netflix. Probably so. But the girl who plays the main character, she directed the second film, which is the prequel. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm adding this to my list. I'll let you know how it is. G.I. Jane, you can rent online right now with Demi Moore. I like Demi Moore, or I liked Demi Moore. Haven't seen her in a while, but I mean, nothing beats, this movie. This is a good one. This is a real good one. Aeon Flux, probably a bad movie, but it was super fun on Pluto right now. Charlize Theron's on this list a couple times. Ava, which you can check out on Prime. Nothing special, just a fun movie. One of those. When I say that, in fact, instead of saying that over and over again, I'll say, just like Trigger Warning, it's fun. You don't have to pay too much attention. And you get to see Bryce Dallas Howard. Nope. Which one is that? Jessica Chastain. I get them confused. You get to see her whoop ass as well. Colin Farrell's in it too. Anna, which is done by Luc Besson, who's done Fifth Element and other films. Guess what movie I'm going to talk about soon? Anna's actually much better than I thought it was going to be. I think it was made more independently, and it was still fairly good. I'm wondering if they're going to do a sequel. The girl, I think she didn't act in anything before this and is a model. In any case, if she didn't act in anything before this, she did pretty good. If she didn't act in other things, then she still did pretty good, I guess. I'm just repeating myself. Watch Anna on Pluto. We're still not on to my favorites yet. Ultraviolet, y'all remember that movie. It was fun. Mila Jovovich, she's on my list several times, and this is probably the first time that we saw her before Resident Evil. I'm not sure. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Salma Hayek. Again, this one doesn't star her. Everly stars her, so if you want one that stars her, check that out. This movie's definitely way more fun. I think I like this movie more than the first one, to be honest. And not only is it because of more Salma Hayek, but it's just a more fun movie in general. The only thing I don't like about this movie is it does that weird thing where they do a sequel about two people that kill each other. And you're thinking, oh, this is going to be super dope. But one of them, the character plot is, I will not kill anyone anymore. Like, what? No, it's not what we want to see. We want to see you kill people. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie is on Tubi with Angelina Jolie. She's very, very much of a very, very badass girl. And I do like the group of badasses they have, like Ari Gold's wife, Jennifer Morrison, and Kerry Washington, when they show the agency of women. I thought that was cool. And I kind of wanted a spin-off from that, but of course they're not going to do that. There's also the TV show that you can watch on Prime where Maya Erskine plays a pretty good badass, along with, man, I can't remember her name. If I remember her name, I'll let you know. Fuck, I can't remember her name. Damn it. All right, I'll remember it sometime. Hot Pursuit, funny film, more of a comedy than it is badass. I don't actually remember any good action scenes. I just remember thinking this movie was better than it was supposed to be, with Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara. You can watch this on Prime. The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad, had a pretty badass Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie herself, just like in Birds of Prey, but way more badass in this because of her really cool, weird fight scene that implemented cartoons and cool music. James Gunn did a very good job on that sequence. Guardians of the Galaxy, another film where it doesn't center on one female, but it does have Zoe Saldana, who you will see again later in this list. I think you can guess what movie it's going to be. But all the Guardians of the Galaxy, and both Gamoras super, super awesome in very different ways. This woman is an evil bitch. Maybe not evil, but she's bitchy and still super dope. Our Gamora, the one that we know, is one that we all love. And I miss her. I miss that Gamora so much. Another film where we're not focusing on the film's main character, but on a side character that's only in a portion of the film, which, of course, I think, am I alone here? I think everyone wanted more Halle Berry. I don't know why Halle Berry wasn't in 4. I didn't think 4 was going to be that good because they didn't have Halle Berry in it. And plus, I don't like fourth installments of things. Having said that, John Wick 4 is the best. No shade against Halle Berry, though. She's the only thing that could have possibly made that movie cooler. But that movie's so perfect. 3 was almost perfect, and she was a big, big component as such. I loved her character. I loved her, what's the word? Chemistry with John Wick. And I love those doggos. She was a badass in this. She's one of my favorite badasses on this list. And another one. Wow, have I not even been looking at this? I haven't been looking at this. It's pretty impressive. Let me scroll down and catch up. Okay. Another one that's centered on a character instead of the film's protagonist is No Time to Die's Ana de Armas. I can't remember her character's name, but she had one goddamn scene. So upset. Give her a spin-off movie. She is getting her own John Wick movie, apparently, which cool, I guess. But I want to see more of this character. She was super fun in No Time to Die, the James Bond film that you can watch on Peacock right now. Oh, Arnold Palmy. So goody. The Matrix is Trinity. Another film that we're not so focusing on the main protagonist, but I had to mention Trinity. You already know who Trinity is. You can check out The Matrixes on Netflixes right now. I didn't care for 4. I've talked about it in the past on this show, but just know I didn't care for 4. Black Widow in all the Avenger films, except in all the MCU films. She's the one that we knew about like the most when MCU was in its prime. Black Widow wasn't that bad, but it is one of the least best films. But does that count in the Infinity Saga still, or does that count in the Multiverse Saga? I think that this was the first in the Multiverse Saga. I can't remember. If you remember, comment, let me know. In any case, I'm caring more about the character when I'm talking about this than I am about Black Widow, the film. More characters. Mission Impossible females from Mission Impossible 3. We have Maggie Q, who will be on this list again later. Super dope. Why'd you get rid of her character? Bring her back. I've noticed that the further that we go in the Mission Impossible movies, the more we're collecting older actors from the previous films. Bring back Maggie Q. Leave Jonathan Rhys Meyers. But Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, bring back Paula Patton, man. I love me some Paula Patton. And bring me back Paula Patton. Paula Patton, come back, Paula Patton. What happened, Paula Patton? You were in a lot of movies a second ago. Come back, Paula Patton. And Rebecca Ferguson, who's currently in the Mission Impossible. She's been in like the past 2 or 3. I like Rebecca Ferguson a lot. She's the main reason I like Silo. Even though Silo's an okay, it's a pretty well-made show, but she's the only reason I'm holding on to it. Alita Battle Angel. I know I told you guys before that I walked out of the theater, but I think I mentioned to you guys that I rewatched it. And even though I didn't love the film, I really, really like this actress a lot. I can't remember her name. She deserves me to look up just to mention to you. I had it. Can I get it? Yes, I can. Can I get it? Yes, I can. Can I get Rosa Salazar? I couldn't get it. I had to look it up. Rosa Salazar does a really good job in this CGI / live action film. I guess CGI components because and probably like a lot of green screen. Not one of my favorite ones on this list, but worth mentioning. Rosa Salazar is really cool. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Okay, now we're into the best ones. The best female kick-assery films are as follows. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You can check it out on Max. You know what it is. Michelle Yeoh, ya girl. She's on this list twice. Everything, everywhere, all at the same time. We've talked about this film at length. I'm not going to talk about it again. but for obvious reasons, she's a badass in this movie. Not only for kicking ass, but for being really funny and for being like a really, really good actress. I'm really, really happy for her. Atomic Blonde, one of the best ones on this list. I love Charlize Theron, and it's like everything you want in a action movie in general. And it's definitely what you want in a female-driven action movie because there's some really good steamy scenes with her and Sophia Boutella, who I missed at the Comic-Con. I'm so mad. In any case, David Leitch directed Atomic Blonde, and he did Deadpool 2, Fall Guy, Hobbs and Shaw, and Bullet Train. So very good director. And I remember it has a good stairway scene that was released during the hype of hallway fight scenes. This one has a few like one long take fight scenes that are pretty badass. The Underworlds is really just one, but Selena Kyle, no, that's Catwoman. Selena, I know her name's Selena. This is my favorite Selena. Kate Beckinsale, you're my wife. If I've ever said that before, this is my main wife. Sorry, Kate. Salma Hayek is the GOAT. You are up there, though. I love you. And I love Selena in this vampires / werewolf saga of films. Wasn't a huge fan of every one of them after one. Three could have been worse, but it didn't have Selena, so I didn't care too much for it. Didn't they make like 5 of these? I don't remember them that well. I do remember that 1 and 2 were my favorites, specifically 1. Hannah, you can watch on Stars. This is also a television series that you can watch on Prime. I've never watched it. The ratings were fairly good, but Saoirse Ronan's Hannah is way better, I'm assuming, but I can't really just say flat out because I haven't seen the show. But it is a really good movie. And I would count this more as a child ass kicker than I would as a female ass kicker because she's like, I think she plays a 12-year-old, but she's probably like 15 in this. In any case, she whoops ass. She does a really good job. So I'm going to give her a point for that. The Kill Bills is, need I say more? Check them out on Netflix right now. If you haven't watched them, get out from underneath your rock because we're all sick and tired of you. And you need to watch The Kill Bills. I'm serious. Romeo is Bleeding. This is less of there is one female kick strangulation as opposed to kick ass. And it's an iconic scene in my head that I really, really want to recreate. Not specifically steal it, but steal its essence. The film's opening scene, you're like, oh shit. And it shows like a very, very evil woman. The movie is very well made. It's so good. It's not an action movie. I'd call it a film noir or a neo-noir, I guess. I'm not sure, but it stars Gary Oldman and this girl. I can't remember her name. Let me look it up. She deserves for you to know her name. She pops up in some things every once in a while. Thriller noir. Lena Olin. Yeah, she's dope. Oh, it also has Juliette Lewis. I forgot Juliette Lewis is in this. Good fucking movie. Romeo is Bleeding. If you, I can't. I don't think I've ever talked about it on this show before, but you gotta watch it. Haywire. Everything's going haywire. All right. So look, politics aside, or politics with. I don't think. Come on. What? Who cares? Who cares? You know, who cares? All right. Politics aside. Good movie. Haywire. Steven Soderbergh. I did not know you can do action, but you can do some really well-made and smooth scenes. I've always known you can be a smooth director, but when you have chase scenes that are just really smooth and like calm in a way, it's really, really cool. But the fight scenes are really dope too. Oh man. I think I'm sick, but Flonase is keeping me not sick. I've been coughing forever and a day. The Woman King with Viola Davis. Anything with Viola Davis, you know, is going to be great. But Lashana Lynch was good in this. And that, what's her name? Thuso. I would never have remembered that. So I'm less mad at myself. Tuso Mbedu. Bidu. Tuso Bidu. Tuso Bidu. Really great job. You can see her in the Underground Railroad. Oh, she's a voice on Castlevania Nocturne. Got to remember to watch that. The Woman King. Excellent film. John Boyega, super good in it, dude. He's a good character actor. Good shit, dude. Maybe not character actor. He's good at playing different characters, which I didn't know. That's the end of my sentence. I didn't know. I always liked John Boyega. Maybe even in Tyrone. They cloned Tyrone. He plays a very different character. He's a really fucking good actor. Anyways, we're talking about female badassery. Viola Davis, the GOAT. The girl I just said, super dope. And Lashana Lynch, another great actress who can play very different characters and still a badass, because she's a huge badass in Captain Marvel. And I hope that they bring her back. They cheat her up, but who knows what MCU is doing. And she's really good in that Bob Marley movie too. So, yeah. Speaking of Lashana Lynch, I tell you every week, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Maybe this is why I made the subject female kick-asses, or female ass kickers, because I just wanted to highlight one of the baddest asses of kick-asses, and that is the Marvels. Brie Larson. Fuck, I can't remember their names. The Marvels. Watch the Marvels. It's good, guys. The scenes that I didn't like, you're going to like. There's a musical scene that I did not like. I didn't like it. And what was the second one? The second scene. Oh, the cat scene. Fucking hated the cat scene. I like that cat character, but that scene was too much. Anyways, next. Another case of a character in the movie rather than the movie's central character, and that is Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow. If you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, it's probably my favorite Groundhog's Day movie, besides Groundhog's Day, but this is a real close second. She's a badass in this. This scene's funny. It's sexy, but it's funny because they replay it like 2 or 3 times, and they do this moan sound that's like echoey. She does like the Shavasana from yoga. Like she goes, and they show her in slow motion, and it's Tom Cruise Sr. from the first time. It's very apparent that she's not moaning in the scene, but they play the scene over 14,000 times. Great movie, though. All right, the Furiosas themselves, Charlize Theron and Anya Taylor-Joy. Now, I know I talked a little. I didn't really talk shit about Furiosa. I just said, like, it wasn't what I had wanted. I fucking respected the hell out of it. I thought it was a very well-told story. Didn't really care for Chris Hemsworth, even though I like Chris Hemsworth. I just don't think he's good at villains. He does these weird characters, and I didn't dig it. But Anya Taylor-Joy was very good in it. And Charlize Theron was the main protagonist in Mad Max Fury Road. Fight me. You know I'm right. So Furiosa 1, super dope. You can rent it right now. And you can rent Furiosa right now. But they're probably not going to make another one, because box office sales didn't do so good. Even though it was critically acclaimed. Maybe not acclaimed. It was given high praise. But I'm going to give you some news in here in a little bit that may indicate that they're more than likely not doing it. Prey. Oh, man. Again, not really final girl I mean, yes, final girl. But whenever I associate the main girl with a horror film, I always think final girl. So I feel like I'm kind of cheating using horror films. But she deserves a shout out as well. Let's give her flowers. But if you haven't seen Prey, it is one of the best prequels you'll ever see. And one of the best Predator movies you'll ever see. It's my second or third favorite behind Robert Rodriguez's, the one that he produced. I don't think he directed it, but that was super dope. Prey. Amber Midthunder. Midthunder? That's a fucking cool name. All right, anyways. Check out Prey on Hulu right now. It's so awesome, guys. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Next. Charlize Theron. Charlie's Angel. I swear to God, I'm not drunk. I'm not high. I'm just high on life, I guess. I love the Charlie Angels. I couldn't finish the Kirsten Stewart one, even though I really like her, and I liked her character in the film. That's one thing I remembered about it. I love Elizabeth Banks, and I think she's a good director, like what she did with Cocaine Bear. I almost said Cocaine Cowboy. She didn't do the originals, but come on, man. Not only were these super fun and sexy as fuck, but they were really enjoyable. They were like the 2000s, the aughts personified. Smack your bitch up. Like great late 90s, early 2000s style. It was super dope. And I miss this Lucy Liu. Why can't we get this Lucy Liu back? I miss this Lucy Liu. Lucy. Come back. You can check it. You can rent this. You can rent either of them. This or Full Throttle. Kate, you can check it out on Netflix. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is one of the best final girls in horror, but she will take a stab or a gun at being a female badass ass kicker. Just like in Birds of Prey, she whoops ass in Netflix's Kate, which you can check out on Netflix right now. The reason I don't have a storyline, guys, is because most of these films don't need a storyline. So that's why I didn't look it up. Sue me. Next. If you are a fan of Old Boy as much as I am, then you probably know that the director is Chan-wook Park, and Old Boy is part of a technical trilogy known as the Revenge Trilogy or Vengeance Trilogy. Like the Cornetto Trilogy, they do not connect character-wise or just themes. And the theme is vengeance. And this is the last one. The first one is Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Second is Old Boy. And the third is, I think it's just called Lady Vengeance, but people call it Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. You can check it out on Tubi right now. I honestly don't remember ass kickery, but I remember this girl is a badass in general. Dope movie. I don't know if I like it. Old Boy obviously is the best out of the three. The first Mr. Vengeance is super fucking depressing. So I probably picked this as my second favorite. Death Proof! Mary Elizabeth Winstead is back. She doesn't kick ass in this, but the other three girls do. Zoe Bell. Rosario Dawson. Another one of my wives. I can't remember this girl's name. She deserves high praise as well. Tracy Toms. Super good in this. Probably the best character in the film, and I love Rosario Dawson. And Vanessa Verlito, she's excellent in it too. The one that does the strip tease. Not just because of the strip tease, even though great job, but she was good in it. She was a good leading lady for the first half of the film. And then we switched the story to these badasses that even though this film is about a guy basically hunting women, the tables may or may not turn. This is Quentin Tarantino at one of his finest, in my opinion. In his opinion, this is his least best movie. I think he said his worst movie. I think he said he wished he'd done it differently, which I fucking disagree. I love this movie. Forewarning, I've asked people about this movie, and they said that it was just too much talking. It is a dialogue film, except for the last third. The last third is one long chase scene, and there are some action/scary scenes. There's like two, maybe, actually. But it's so well made, guys. So well made. Part of the Grindhouse films of this and Planet Terror, which is directed by Robert Rodriguez. You can check this one out on Prime, and you can check out Planet Terror on Prime too. Lucy, starring ScarJo. I told you she'd be back. You can check this out on Netflix. Very similar. I talked about this movie last week. Very similar to Limitless. It's about accessing more than just 2 or 10% of your brain and the superpowers that come with it. Super badass movie. Oh, this might be the top one, guys. This one might be the top one. This might be my favorite female badass character. Played by Betty Gilpin. Yes, I remember. I just don't remember the character's name. Because I want a fucking saga of these films following this character. Crystal May you give me your name, Crystal? The fuck's her name? Stand by. Sorry about this. Just Crystal. Fine. They won't give me her last name. Crystal is a badass. If you haven't seen The Hunt, it's really, really good. People were fucking dogging on it. And I think it was like not released in a lot of theaters because this came out around a very scary time in America where tensions were high for political reasons. And, you know, it's got some political themes, but the shit that comes out today, this really pales in comparison. Like The Boys' current season is much stronger in a political message than this film is. And this film, I'm going to say it, it's better than The Boys. I really, really enjoyed this film. Damon Lindelof co-wrote the film. Excellent job, man. He's super dope. Check out The Leftovers if you haven't, or this Watchmen TV series. Another horror film, but I'm still got to call it out because this girl ends up being a surprising badass, is You're Next. You can check it out. You can rent it right now. Talked about this movie before, too. Great home invasion film. Check it out. She's a badass. Damsel. Fucking 11 or 7. What the hell's her name? Millie Bobby Brown. One of my favorite kid. That's not kid anymore. My favorite younger actors of today. Like, she is doing a great job. This film I thought was one of the best original live action fairy tale films I've ever seen. They did a lot of cool original choices, and it was super dope. This was a huge win for strong femininity films. I think you know what I'm trying to say. Great movie. Check it out on Netflix right now. Along with Enola Holmes 2. Enola Holmes is okay. 2, way better. Fucking keep making movies, Millie Bobby Brown. You're a great actress, and I think you produced this, and I think you did produce this, but I think you produced Damsel as well. I'm not positive, but you're doing a really good job. You need to know that. The Fifth Element, probably the best. It's probably not my favorite, although it is like one of my favorites for sure. It might be my favorite. Sorry, The Hunt. The Fifth Element with Mila Jovovich. You can check this out on Apple TV Plus, Hulu, or AMC Plus. Same director as Anna, Luc Besson. One of the best science fiction films you'll ever watch, starring Bruce Willis and Gary Oldman and Chris Tucker. Very fun film. It's awesome. It's like perfect. It's really, really perfect. Check it out, guys. The Heat, super great fun buddy cop film. I think I mentioned this last week in our buddy cop category with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Super fun. Deadly Little Miho in Sin City. You can check out on Pluto. Hit Girl and Kick-Ass. Super, super dope. I don't remember Kick-Ass 2 that much, but I remember Chloe Grace Moretz. This is another one that I would say is like Hannah. This is more synonymous to child ass kickery than it is to female ass kickery. Still a great job. And last, but certainly not least, Rachel Weisz's character, specifically in Mummy 2, because she kicks more ass in that than in 1. She's more of a damsel in distress in 1, but in this one, she kicks more ass. That's it. Those are the films. But we're going to keep going with some poppin' questions. That's right, ladies and gents. We are back with the popcorn poppin' questions asked by fans on Facebook and through text. If you have any poppin' questions, you may submit them to Jermaine Higgins at iCloud.com, or you can just send me a text, or you can comment in the socials. But first question hails from Dana Pittman. Or wait, no, I'm supposed to read fake names. Sorry. From Cletus Van Dam from Idaho. What movie food would you like? I assume you mean if I were to pick any fictional food from a film, like let's say there's a movie about a hot dog eating contest and there's food. Oh, okay, like Good Burger. Good Burger. Would I want a burger from Good Burger? Would I want a Krabby Patty from SpongeBob SquarePants movie? No. I'll tell you what I want. Notice how I said burgers twice. Here's the third. Pulp Fiction's Big Kahuna Burger. Quentin Tarantino's Big Kahuna Burger. One of the best burgers. This is a tasty burger, and I want to taste it in my mouth. Next poppin' question comes from Hannah Montana from Indiana. I thought she'd be from Montana again. She asks, what is your favorite Wes Anderson film? Well, that is very hard for me to choose, so I'll give you my top 3. First one is definitely when as I was watching it, I thought this is my favorite Wes Anderson film. It's got a bunch of great comedy, a bunch of weird beats. It's where I really got to learn and understand Wes Anderson. I think I had watched Royal Tenenbaums before this, and I didn't like Royal Tenenbaums as much until I watched this movie, where I can really grasp what Wes Anderson's vibe was. And I love this movie. Great cast, all the things, all the stuff. But of course, there's also the Darjeeling. Not of course, because I don't think many people have seen this or like this as much as I do. I fucking love this movie. I think this was, this might have been the first Wes Anderson movie I saw. Maybe. I'm not sure. Either way, I think I hold this in higher regard. And one that I don't like to compare to the others because I love it so much, but if I had to pick one, it would have to be Fantastic Mr. Fox. Isle of Dogs is fun, but this is awesome. I love the fact that they didn't do the recordings in audio booths, but they shot on location. So if they were running through a field, George Clooney would be running through a field, and they would record them, but they would hold mics to them too, so they can get the audio. And I thought that was really, really cool. Next question, hailing from Indiana again. Favorite musical? As the crowd may know, I don't love musicals. But if I had to choose 3, number 3, Greatest Showman. I don't know this. I was asked this question earlier. I didn't look at all the musicals ever made, but these are the 3 that come to mind. Greatest Showman, I remember not being excited for the movie, but being very excited for the Academy Awards, and this was nominated. I didn't even know Zendaya was. And I didn't know if I liked Zac Efron yet, but I loved Hugh Jackman, so I decided to give it a shot. And the first fucking 20 seconds of the movie, I'm like, I love it. I love this music. I love this. I get that the real whoever fucking guy he's playing, Berman or J.P.T. Barnum, I can't remember. I know apparently that guy's not a good person, apparently. But this movie I remember really, really enjoying. So kudos to you, because I don't like musicals. I did like I love Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors is so fun. How fun is it? It's so fun that I would love to direct I would like to direct a theater. I'd direct this. I don't think I do very well because I don't think I can direct musicals, but I think it would still be fun. It's got everything. Everything. But my all-time favorite. Always remember to silence your phones. My all-time favorite musical. Whoops. Chicago. Chicago is my favorite. It's got everything. 40s, right? It takes place in the 40s, maybe 20s. I can't remember. I'm not very good at historically sound. Reese Witherspoon. It's not Reese Witherspoon. It's fuck. What the fuck's her name? Bridget Jones. What the fuck is her name? God damn it. I hate that no one's watching right now. I'm never fucking doing this on a Tuesday again. What's your name? Ugh! Fuck, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Richard Gere. Damn it, I can't remember her name. That was my favorite musicals. And my favorite ape, I'd say Cuba Gooding Jr. Who's my favorite Planet of the Apes character? Holy shit, dude. Who is it? Koba? Koba's probably my favorite. Caesar is up there, but after rewatching all of them again, I think you can really, really appreciate a character when you can understand his bad decisions. And Koba is a villain, but his reasoning totally makes sense. Human work. Like, oh my God. It's so well acted and so well written. And fucking evil, dude. Oh my God. So Koba is my favorite character. But a close second is Caesar, and a close third is Tim Roth's weird like fucking sneering ape, going crazy, and then coming back up to Michael Clark Duncan and going, I'm sorry, you're my friend, and I'm sorry if I freaked out at you. It's okay, sir. Please just don't kill me. No, I love you. You're my friend. Like, okay, you got a real soft heart for such an asshole. All right, let's get into some news. Let's remember some Donald Sutherlands in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Donald Sutherland passed away at the tender age of 88. You may remember him from such films as The Hunger Gameses. You can watch on AMC Plus. The Italian Job is what I think of, but he's not in the movie much. I just always liked him in Italian Job. I know it's a very easy like role in that film. At least I think so, because you see it 1,000 times. His character is mostly motivation for characters to seek vengeance in. But Italian Job is underrated, but you can check it out on Pluto and Paramount Plus right now. 6 Degrees of Separation with Will Smith back in the day. You can check out on Prime. The 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Fucking creepy. I know I'm one of the only people that have seen rather than only just love The Invasion with Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig. That was the third adaptation. The second adaptation, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, excellent. Excellent. I just saw it recently. It might have been like last year. Either way, it was recent, like within the past few years. And I dug it. I did not want to watch it because I thought it was too old. But its oldness might be why it's creepier, because the makeup and, oh my God, it's a creepy fucking movie. And Donald Sutherland's excellent in it. I had watched this like 2 or 3 years ago. I think I talked about it on here. Don't Look Now, which you can check out on Pluto. Klutz, which you can check out on Tubi. And, I don't have it here, but Donald Sutherland. It's not Donald Sutherland. He was also probably most famously in the film, not adaptation, MASH the movie, not the TV series. I never watched it. Let me know how it is from someone that's closer to my age. Because every time I start it, I'm like, I don't really want to watch this. Also, I'm not a big Vietnam guy, even though it's a comedy. All right, other news. R.I.P. Donald. Jordan Peele announced that his next movie will be released on October 23rd, 2026. It's a long time away. So if you need time to be held over with some of his other movies, check out Get Out on Peacock. Us, you can rent. And nope, you have to watch on Stars. Yep. And Candyman on Prime, which she produced. Regarding Mad Max, The Wasteland, which is what George Miller, the director of the Mad Maxes and Furiosa, wants the next installment to be. He had said that he was open to creating a direct sequel to Fury Road and bring Max back. And it was going to be called The Wasteland. Tom Hardy was really recently asked about that film, to which Tom Hardy quotes, "I don't think that's happening," end quote. Box office sales weren't really good, so I don't think it's happening either. But who knows? Maybe it will be. You can rent Mad Max Fury Road or Furiosa right now. Matt Damon and Joe Carnahan and Ben Affleck. Joe Carnahan is an excellent director. You haven't seen much of him, but I will tell you the dope movies he's made recently. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are actually going to be producing and starring in his next thriller, which is called R.I.P. We don't know what it's about yet, but it is supposed to be a thriller. Joe Carnahan, whatever. He did Narc, A-Team, The Gray, super underrated film. People didn't like the ending. I loved the ending and the after credit scene. You can check that out on Prime. But he also did Smokin' Aces, one of the best action films ever. You can check that out on Stars. Can't Hardly Wait for a musical? Well, you're in luck, because the Can't Hardly Wait musical is by co-writer and director Deborah Kaplan, has announced that a stage musical is in the works based on her and Harry Alphonse 1998 cult classic. If you haven't seen Can't Hardly Wait, one of the best party movies ever, probably my favorite party movie from the 90s specifically. And you can check this out on Tubi right now. Josh Gad is going to be producing and starring in Spaceballs 2, which is going to be co-produced by Mel Brooks. Wasn't a big Spaceballs guy. Probably would be more now because I have a bigger respect for the Star Wars films and other older TV shows, not the TV shows that are on right now. Mike Flanagan, his new Exorcist movie is going to be releasing when? March 13th, 2026. So a long time away, but I am patient. And also, I don't want another Exorcist movie. But if you're doing it, I'm on board because I really trust you. The 3-body problem. All right, one thing I don't have a picture of, so act like I got a picture of Megan instead of this Asian dude. Megan is expanding its universe. There is Megan 2, which is coming out. When is it coming out? Megan 2.0. You know, that one with the dancing robot. If you saw my face, it would look cooler. That is coming out June 27th next year, but they are also coming out with another movie in the universe called Soulmate, with the 8 being the A. And that is a new technological twist, which is billed as a 1990s erotic thriller. Whoa. A man acquires an artificially intelligent android to cope with the loss of his recently deceased wife. In an attempt to create a truly sentient partner, he inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate. Sounds dope. I'm all in. I think I'm going to like it more than Megan 2. Next is this. There's going to be a 3-body problem film that is different from the television series. It's on Netflix right now. This is done by a famous Chinese director. I believe Chinese. If I'm wrong, sorry for being racist. No, he is Chinese. Okay. Whew. Anyways, he did Hero with Jet Li. Super dope film. Check it out. House of Flying Daggers, I remember vaguely. It came out around the same time as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And it has the same girl from it. Not Michelle Yeoh, but the other girl. And Raise the Red Lantern, which you can watch for free on YouTube. I've never heard of it, but it was stupid high rated online. 8.1 out of 10 and 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to add that to my list to watch. But you can check out any of those by renting them, except for Raise the Red Lantern, which you can watch right now. All right. Animated Chris, and everybody still hates Chris Rock in animation. Coming out soon. It's going to feature Chris Rock as the adult Chris Rock, narrating stories inspired by his experience growing up as a skinny nerd in a large working-class family in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn during the late 1980s. Terry Crews will voice Julius, Chris's father, who is a gentle... You know everybody hates Chris. If you want to watch the original series, check it out on Tubi. Speaking of Chris Rock, a couple things I forgot to mention about Bad Boys. There's a weird slapping scene, which apparently Will Smith gets slapped. I didn't think it was that funny. The crowd I was with, I don't think thought it was that funny. And I did not think of the infamous Chris Rock Will Smith slap until I read about Bad Boys, the scene in question, when I got home. So, I didn't think it definitely wasn't funny, but also, hey man, we're just forgiving you until Chris Rock says he forgives you. Maybe don't make I'm not being like sensitive, like, how could you make him like, it's whatever. If you're going to make that. But in my humble opinion, because I made a show about my humble opinions, I think it's really fucking weird that you made a joke about that when people were pretty outraged that you did it in the first place and you apologized about it, yet you're poking fun at it. Didn't you get mad at making comedy? And that was a whole, it's weird. I think it's weird that he made a joke about the slap. It's really fucking weird. That was one takeaway. Again, I really, really thought the movie was extremely fun. Definitely the 3rd best film in the Bad Boys franchise. Don't want to throw shade. I just never commented on the Reggie scene. If I did, I'm sorry. I just need to make sure you know. I think the Reggie scene is manufactured to be cool, but it's not that cool. Granted, yeah, he did some badass shit in it, but the reason it's so heightened is because they did specific shots of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence going, oh, whoa. And that made the crowd go, oh, if they think this is cool, then this must be cool. It wasn't that cool. And I didn't really care for the last shot of the film either. But super famous, broke as shit, making it nowhere, hasn't made a single film yet. Fucking billionaires. So fuck me, right? You can check out Bad Boys in theaters right now. They're making an Inside Out spinoff series that is specifically in relation to a dream production scene, and it will semi-explain why they're so weird in the first film. I vaguely remember that, but that series is coming out next year. Twisted Metal is getting a season 2, and they casted Anthony Carrigan from Barry as Calypso in the second season. You can check out the first season on Peacock right now. I rated it Poppin last year. I just never whenever it came out. I never finished the show. It's fun and everything. It just wasn't like, oh my God, this is such a great show. It's just super fun, but super easy. And I'll definitely have more of a reason to get back to it after this casting announcement. Remember She-Hulk? Well, guess what? No She-Hulk news, but Tatiana Maslany will produce the pilot and star as a young mother who is unsatisfied with her seemingly perfect suburban life in The NightBeast. So she begins an affair with the boogeyman in her son's closet, a surprisingly sexy man called the NightBeast. But this harmless affair she thought to be a figment of her imagination begins to have unexpected consequences as her two worlds increasingly begin to collide in this seductive, darkly comedic tale. Oh, dope. It is a comedy. It sounded funny. If it wasn't, I'd be like, this is a weird romance to do, but dope. I'm glad that she's leaning more into comedy, even though everyone's chastising She-Hulk. You know, it's a really fucking funny show. Actually, it's a pretty funny show. Most of their jokes wasn't funny in that show, but I am very excited about the NightBeast. It sounds like a fun idea. The best part of She-Hulk that no one can deny was she was very good in it, guys. Come on, she was. I like her a lot. I like that actress. Final bit of news, Homicide, Life on the Streets, that show from back in the day starring Andre Braugher. I'm probably pronouncing wrong, a.k.a. Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, R.I.P. Very famous show. I never watched an episode. It's kind of hard to find. Apparently, they're waiting on music rights, deeming necessary to use Homicide, Life on the Streets to a streaming platform. Apparently, NBC got those rights to the music, so now it might be streaming soon, probably on Peacock. Why should you care about this? You probably don't know who David Simon is. David Simon is the creator of the show, or at least a head writer. He did The fucking Wire, but he also did, if you love The Wire, we're probably going to love this show, and I'll watch it with you. But he also did the miniseries Generation Kill, which I thoroughly enjoy, and I definitely recommend. But I can't recommend enough The Deuce. One of my favorite shows. So fucking well made, man. So well made. You can check this out on Max right now. It's a look at the life in New York City during the 1970s and 80s when porn and prostitution were rampant in Manhattan. I talked about this thoroughly in older episodes of PopCorn Poppin. If you want more explanations, check out those episodes. But man, oh man, do I love this show. I think I'm going to rewatch it soon. I love it so much. All right. What came out this week what am I watching right now? I'm watching House of the Dragon, which is new episodes on Max Sundays. They're in their second season right now. Super great prequel. Very great world building. Last episode was long as fuck, but it was still very well made. I had some notes here. The new King Joffrey, a.k.a. King Aegon, is a little shit, of course. Damon is a piece of shit. I fucking hate him, but I love that he dipsetted after an argument. There's a weird twins scene that happens that they built since the first season, and it comes to a conclusion in this season. I think they did a fairly good job because of the final act. It's just that I don't know which one's which is, overdone. But I think that they did that on purpose because it's a fun little trope that they do in art. Sir Kristen, I hate him. And what's up with these new characters that they only gave one scene to that they've never mentioned before, and I have no idea who they are? Time will tell. Presumed Innocent. Did not love I haven't told you guys. The second episode, super fucking good. Holy shit. One of the best episodes of everything crashing down on a character or characters. It was so well done. Very, very great job. Jake Gyllenhaal's character, however, piece of shit. Don't like him. I hope he's found guilty, even if he didn't do it. It's about a guy who is like He's a lawyer in a district attorney office. And he has an affair. And that chick ends up dead. And his DNA is all over the place. So he's being charged with murder. It's very... That second episode was very well made, but the third episode, I was kind of taken back again. I'm like, I don't know. I love Ruth Negga. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, and I love Bill Camp, who plays Jake Gyllenhaal's lawyer in this. He's very, very good. He's in The Night Of. You should check that out on Max right now. However, there's a lot of like... There's so much. It's very melodramatic with good reason. Just a little annoying. Check it out on Apple TV Plus Wednesdays. Presumed Innocent, which was also a film with Harrison Ford back in the day. I don't know where that's streaming. The Boys. All right, what happened in the newest episode? Homelander is getting his revenge in a interesting B story where we learn a little bit more about his past. I like how there's people correcting his name, or he was correcting his name when people called him John. He's like, Homelander. My name's Homelander. And I love how he holds everyone hostage. He always does that throughout the show, and it does get a little old sometimes. But with season 5 being confirmed as the final one, hopefully we get to see him a little more vulnerable this season. Best scenes of the movie, of the episode. The first scene with Kimiko and Huey preparing to fight. Super dope. And Huey fucking fighting. And Kimiko fighting. I should have added her. I should have added the boys into this list, but I didn't want to do TV shows of female kick-assery. Super badass. It was a really good episode. This week was a really good episode. Jared Padalecki has confirmed that he will absolutely accept to be on the show. Big surprise. Not like you got anything going on, dude. Also, yeah, everyone wants it. Just do it. Frenchie has a really stupid storyline. I don't care about it. I'm interested about the worm that's going on in Butcher's head. Huey and his dad are going through some shit. The ending was very interesting. Starlight had a wild ride. And I love Noir. All right, you can check out new episodes on Prime Thursdays. Didn't even watch it. I watched the first 2 episodes so far, and I'm having a hard time getting through the show, guys. Dark Matter. Oh, there's 1 episode left. Oh, how's it going to end? It's got to end. It can't have a season 2. I don't know how they would do that, but man, is it good. It's so good. All right, here's the batch of honorable mentions of television shows that I have, of movies and TV shows that have been released in the past week that I did not watch, that you might want to. That I probably didn't want to. There is... We're going kind of late, so if you want to know the plot lines of the fucking things I'm about to talk about, go back to last week's episode. Janet Planet, which is in theaters right now. Thelma, which is in theaters right now. The Exorcism. I think Janet Planet will be popping. I think Thelma will be popping. I do not think The Exorcism is going to be popping. It's in theaters right now. What Remains, I think it'll be very fucking boring, but from an artistic standpoint, like when you really break it down, I think it'll be good. This is in theaters right now. Orphan Black Echoes, I think is probably I read very good things. I just never watched Orphan Black, and I'm a completionist. I need to watch the original, and it's pretty long, so I don't think I'm going to watch it. But She-Hulk was the star of the original one. Right? I might be wrong. Actually, I might be wrong. No, I'm right. I'm broken. I'm dead inside. All right, what is coming out next week that I'm excited about? I'll tell you what. Kinds of Kindness. I know I said last week it's coming out this week. I'm sorry. I know I said last week that it was coming out last week, and it didn't. Or it did. It came out to limited release. The main release is this Thursday. So excited. Give me more Yogos. 3 hours long, 3 separate stories. So excited. So excited. It will be popping. I doubt it will be for everyone. And I read it has some uncomfortable scenes, but Yorgos is very known for that. I'd say if you're interested in the film, but you're not sure if you can vibe with some weird shit, watch Poor Things on Hulu and Killing of a Sacred Deer on Max. then you'll know whether or not you want to see this movie. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The other movie's coming out in theaters. I'm not going to go see it. It looks fucking boring. And I read it's terrible. It looked, and I'm not happy it's bad. I don't have anything against Kevin Costner, but like when you see that the title is Horizon, an American Saga, lame. Chapter 1, even lamer. Pick a title. Don't give me 3 subtitles. Chronicles a multifaceted 15-year span of pre- and post-Civil War expansion and settlement of the American West. I feel like you've done this before, and don't do it again. Now, I found out, yeah, I like Kevin Costner. I love Sienna Miller, but she doesn't have the greatest films. No offense to her. But Sam Worthington does pick some good projects. He's picked some bad ones too. But I'm assuming he might play the villain. Now, he plans on 4 films. The one thing that's interesting about this, the first 2, is that the first one's coming out Thursday and the second one's coming out on the 16th. So my guess is that Kevy Boy here is going to die in the first one or the second one, more than likely the second one. And then chapters 3 and 4, if he finds funding for them, even though this is projected to be one of the biggest box office bombs in history. Maybe not that big, but pretty big. If they do 3 and 4, his character won't be there. He might not even direct the fucking thing. He probably will direct it, but it'll be about his kids or some shit. Anyways, if you want to see this and let me know how it is, go Thursday. Another movie I'm very excited about, I'll be in the theater twice this week, is Quiet Place Day 1. So you guys got to let me know, and I'll double check on Facebook whether you guys want, what subject you want. It's between 2. Should I do apocalyptic films, which I feel like I've already done to a degree, or, which interests me more, best prequels? I think that would be more interesting. I think I'm going to lean towards that, but I'll at least put a vote online. This one is A Quiet Place, which is directed by, the first and second Quiet Places were directed by John Krasinski. I would say we should rewatch the second film at least, because the opening scene, it takes place on day 1. And I have a sneaking suspicion we may see a cameo from one of the characters of the original cast of the films. This takes place on day 1, starring Lupita Nyong'o, who I love. Another one of my wives. I haven't seen enough of her films, though. I don't think she made enough films. But also co-stars Digimon, who's Digimon Husan, you know him, and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things. You all fucking love that kid so much. Well, he's back. Not as the same character, though, sadly. This is directed by Michael Sarnowski, who has given me homework. I've always been interested in Nicolas Cage's Pig, and I always heard good things, but I never pushed myself to watch it. I always had it on a list, but I never watched it. Now I will, for one, because the director's only done that movie and this, and for 2, I never read what Pig was about. A truffle hunter who lives alone in the Oregon wilderness must return to his past in Portland in search of his beloved foraging pig after she is kidnapped. I didn't know it was about a kidnapped pig. It's way more interesting. I think this will pop. It's co-written. He didn't direct it this time, but it's co-written by John Krasinski, so he's still very involved. Check us out in theaters Thursday. Oh, I should tell you where we can watch the first movies, because I might have that on in the background too. Probably not, though. I've seen the first one so many times. The second one I've only watched once. It's really good. I just only watched it once. All right, you can check out the first one on Paramount Plus, and you can check out the second one on Paramount Plus and Hulu. So there you go if you want to get prepped. I don't know if I'm going to watch this, but I do think it is pretty good. Or pretty good. I haven't seen it. All right. I think it sounds cute, and it's got a good cast. It's called The Family Affair. The premise is Joey King's boss, Zac Efron, starts banging Joey King's mom, Nicholas Kidman. It's because we were talking about Nicolas Cage a second ago. But I wonder what a film with Zac Efron banging Nicolas Cage would be like. Zac Efron starts banging her mom, Nicole Kidman. They banged once before in The Paperboy, with John Cusack. That I didn't really like that movie. I think it was directed by Steve McQueen too. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't. Anyways, sorry. This is a rom-com, and I saw the trailer and I was like, this actually looks pretty funny. And I like all the actors, so I'll at least maybe keep it on in the background. Next. The Bear is returning Thursday on Hulu. If you haven't seen The Bear, watch it on Hulu right now, the first 2 seasons. Everyone talked about it and I was very resistant to it, and not that resistant. I tried it and I didn't think it was for me. I pushed through it and I had an appreciation of the character development and the acting, but I didn't really love the show. I loved season 2. I loved the premise of season 2. I thought that was really cool and a lot more endearing. The first season is just about people struggling to survive. I hate that shit. Don't wake up every day just to survive. I want to watch a show about striving to become something better than yourself, which is a more filled out full potential of yourself. I don't know. That's what season 2 is. And I'm interested in season 3. I don't think I'll like it as much as season 2. But the whole season drops on Hulu Thursday. And they are already, maybe they're done, but they started filming season 4 already. So people think that, I think that season 3 is going to end with a big cliffhanger and season 4 is going to be the final season. Next. Wandla, which is an animated movie. I always give you guys a suggestion for the kiddos to be placed in a room whilst you go out and sin. And this week is called Wandla, which I think I'm going to watch actually, because I checked out the trailer and I don't know. It looks interesting. Forced to flee her underground sanctuary for Earth's surface, Eva discovers a world unlike anything she ever expected. As she journeys across perilous terrain and unknown civilizations, Eva asks whether she is the last human. So it's her trying to figure out what happened to humanity. I think it's interesting. What did happen to humanity? This is coming out on Apple TV Plus Friday. I think it'll pop for the whole family. I think it'll pop more for adults than it will kids, because it sounds and looks more inquisitive than we think, even though I don't know what the word inquisitive means. My Lady Jane, I don't think I'm going to watch this, but I think it looks pretty good. Jane Grey is unexpectedly crowned queen overnight and finds herself the target of villains. Looks like an action-y Bridgerton. So if you like Bridgerton, check out the trailer for this and let me know. I definitely won't watch this, but I do like Eva Longoria, and I'm just letting you know she's got a new show coming out that looks really fucking corny, but it's about a New York socialite who is forced to flee to a charming Spanish wine town with her mother and daughter. She finds herself navigating small town quirks while also confronting her husband, like, gets involved with like the mob or like bookies or some shit, and they're hunting them down, so they move to Mexico or something. That's it. The Spanish wine town, excuse me, because they're fleeing. That's the premise. Doesn't look that good, but maybe you'll like it. To sum up the kernels that I'm going to see and that you should too, I'm going to be watching Kinds of Kindness, which you can see in theaters on Thursday, A Quiet Place Day 1, which you can see in theaters on Thursday, The Bear, which is dropping on Hulu on Thursday. It's actually dropping on Hulu Wednesday at 9 p.m. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. A Family Affair, I'm at least going to have on in the background Netflix Friday. And on Friday on Apple TV Plus is Wandla. There you go. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did tune in, I don't know if something's wrong with this. There wasn't that much new shit, and I thought the topic was going to bring in more people, but if it didn't, if you commented and I didn't see it, my bad. I don't see anything here. Hopefully this is recorded. Otherwise, I got to do it all over again. And I'm sorry for the length. That's what she said. Why did she say so? You have length? I'll see you guys next week. Let me know if you got some popping questions.